What is going on, you guys? So right behind me is one of the most insane vehicles that I've ever driven. This is the McLaren 720S Spider, and I've already filmed the normal 720S, and I'm obviously never going to pass up an opportunity to drive another one, even though the only difference is it being a convertible. However, we are in California, we have some beautiful roads out here, awesome driving roads, so we're going to see what this thing is really about, and I have it for 24 hours, so we're going to show you guys what it's like to drive this thing in that 24-hour period. Let's go ahead and get started. What is going on, you guys? So let's go ahead and check out the McLaren 720S Spider. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into that price because this is $379,000. That is a ton of money. And let's just face it, this is a rich person's play toy. But as far as play toys go, this is one of the best ones you can get. This is the Nerf 3000 machine gun or something. It's absolutely insane what this car is capable of. Now let's go ahead and talk about this color because man, is this thing beautiful, guys. Memphis red is the way to go if you're going to get a McLaren and you love red. It is just beaming with beauty. It's so good looking, especially with all these black accents, all the carbon fiber accents. I mean, it looks like an alien spaceship that has the most style in the universe. It's pretty wild. Now, as we come here to the front, if you guys have never seen this generation 720S, it's pretty wild. So you have these eye socket headlight design. So if I get a little bit closer, it's actually in there like an eyeball. And then you have your daytime running LED, which is going to be this right here. Looks really cool. And this is all going to be intakes right here. Intake here at the bottom. And then as you come over here to the side, exact same thing, intake on the bottom and on the top. So I can literally pass my hand right through there. It's pretty insane. And then obviously at night, this thing looks awesome because it's a supercar and it's got the coolest lights in the world. So there's that. Now, as you come up to the hood, you have these carbon fiber nostrils right here, which look equally as good. And then one thing I do like is this angle here because you can see how the air flows into the side vent. So unlike something like a Huracan or just a traditional supercar, which has the big vent that's exposed on the side, this has that, but it's covered up by this second layer here. So it gives it this really, I guess, uninterrupted look from the outside, but it is definitely a supercar through and through. All right, so coming to the wheels, you have 19-inch wheels here up front, 20-inch wheels in the back, all wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires. You're gonna have 245s up front, you're gonna have 305s in the rear. So you've got a nice staggered setup for this bad boy. And then obviously you have carbon ceramic brakes, massive stopping power right there, 720S badge right here, and then all functional arrows. You guys can see that right there. It looks really cool. Love these carbon mirrors. And moving to the side profile, one of the best things is that you can't tell the difference between this and the coupe. The Spider looks every bit as good as the coupe. You don't lose that cool factor, and you have the option to fully take your top off if you need to. And so it's just a really cool benefit for sure. And then as you come back to the rear quarter panel, I love how the line here really digs into the back of the car and it creates this almost hip in the back. So very cool. And then as you come down, you guys see the width of those tires, that crazy diffuser. You can see all the inner workings of the engine back here, your McLaren badge located there. And you have all these super cool just lines and fins and intakes. It just looks really cool. Carbon fiber here, and what that's gonna do is allow air to flow underneath there, boom, goes straight out the back. And then you have your lights back here, which look equally amazing at night. I mean, it just looks like some alien spaceship. It is so crazy. And you're also going to have your sports exhaust. All right, you guys, here's your key for the 720S. Now you're gonna have your lock. The McLaren symbol is your unlock, and then you're gonna hit this to open your front trunk. Then on the back, you have a nice paint right here with some gloss and some flake in it, and then your McLaren symbol. Very simple key. Now, obviously, as long as you have the key on you, there is a touchpad located behind here. You just press that, and that is what's going to lift the door open for you. Let's go ahead and check out the inside. All right, you guys, so getting inside of the 720S, these have the dihedral doors. So coming up, hitting that button I showed you guys, you're gonna lift up, and you have this carbon tub right here. So unlike the Huracan, which you can pretty easily get inside, you do have to climb over this tub here, and you guys can actually see the carbon here just super solid, and it is really, really cool. Now, getting in, there's one of two ways to do that. I can do the sit down and then turn my legs, or if you have good knees, you can do it this way. So very simple. And once you're in, you feel like you're legitimately closer to the center of the car. It's a really cool experience. You guys can see the tub comes up like to the bottom of my abdomen right here. So very cool experience. And I love how you can see more carbon here, and I can even see the front wheel here, which looks really, really cool. And everything is super heavy duty, so that's a cool thing. Now to start, very simple. Once the key's inside of the car, just foot on the brake, and you're gonna hit your start stop button right here. Okay, so shutting the door, all you have to do is grab the handle here and you just pull basically down towards your hip. So you just pull down like that, and there you go. Very cool feeling. I love these dihedral doors, but it's also very hot today, so I'm gonna leave the door open. And I do wanna point out a few things on the door. So I love the design. Everything has this really cool sort of flowy shape to it. I love these orange accents right here. You're gonna have this orange stitching, this big carbon fiber strip going all down the side of the door, and the leather quality up top is really nice with more orange stitching. And then of course you're gonna have things like your buttons here, and then you have a latch right up here, and that's gonna be to open the door. So very cool. And then once the door's all the way up, it's just a cool look. I mean, doors that go up are always awesome. Now, looking here at the screen, I do have the car turned off, but all the electronics are on just because it's loud and I want you guys to be able to hear me. Now, the steering wheel is awesome. Nice leather, literally all dry carbon right here. It looks amazing. I love these paddles. They have a nice click to them. Listen to this. And they're on a rocker, so they go like this. That means I can upshift and downshift by pushing back. And then same thing over here. I pull to downshift, and I can push forward to upshift. So I can basically drive with one hand, and it's a very cool thing. Now the stalks on here are pretty simple. You have your wipers, you're gonna have your blinkers over here. Right back here is gonna be your lift, and all you have to do is push that button to lift the front end up. That way you can clear curves. But going at an angle, I've been able to clear most entryways, so that's not proven to be a big issue. One thing I do love is this screen. So if you guys can see the screen here, it is gonna change depending on what mode you're in. So for example, I'm in normal mode right now. If I go to sport, it changes. And if I go to track, it's automatically going to fold down and show you basically just your speed, what gear you're in, and your RPMs. But I can hit a button to the left, and that's going to make this fold back up. And then here's your track screen when it's not folded down. So it looks very F1. It shows things like your tire pressure, your fuel over here to the right, and then you can adjust this side to basically be whatever you want it to be using a stock on the left side of the steering wheel. So that's pretty cool. As far as the materials, I mean, you've got carbon here on this head unit, all Alcantara, more orange leather right here, which looks great. You've got your touch screen. This is an interesting fan right here, or an interesting vent, because you just push it forward, and that opens it and closes it. So I've never seen that, and it took me a while to figure that out. These are pretty simple. You just twist them, point up and down, and then your screen here is very simple. So I can go through here, mess with things like my media, radio, navigation, but the coolest thing is definitely variable drift control. So making sure your ESC is off, which I believe the car has to be on, so we're gonna power her on. Okay, so once ESC is off, I hit activate, and then I can actually adjust my slip angle depending on what mode I'm in, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So that is very cool, knowing that McLaren literally wants you to have as much fun as possible with this car. It's awesome. We're gonna power it down real quick. Accessory power. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so continuing on, down here, these were your modes. So whenever I turn on the car, you had to make sure ESC was off. And once you hit active, that's going to activate these two dials basically. So you have handling here, which is comfort, sport, and track. Right below that, you have your powertrain, which is comfort, sport, and track. And then to use any of this, you have to hit that active button. Once that's orange, you can use these. Then you have your manual mode, which once that's orange, I can just use the paddles. It won't upshift for you or anything, and then you can turn manual off by doing that. Automatic start stop. Aero basically lifts your wing up just a little bit. That way you have a really cool look. I really like the way it looks in aero mode, so I usually leave it in that mode all the time. And then right down here are basically corresponding buttons to the screen up here. Engine start button. I love this really thin area here, how it just goes wide and then just narrows once you get down to the drive pattern right here. So drive, neutral, reverse, And then once you go into reverse, you're gonna have your backup camera come up, hazards, and then right down here is your launch mode, which we will check out as soon as we start driving. Moving back, you have this to fold down your rear window. Basically, it just lets in a lot more noise, and we will once again test that out once we go driving. And then this is the button to open and close your convertible top. So we'll go ahead and check that out. And there you have it, very simple. And this thing looks amazing with the top down. It makes it look even sportier, I think, than the coupe, just because you have these sharp cutoffs right here. You have this pointed area up here. It looks really aggressive, and mixed with this styling, this is one of the most beautiful convertibles I've ever laid eyes on. And then once the top's down, you just have a lot more light coming in. So you can see things like this nice McLaren symbol on the seat, all the orange stitching, the Alcantara looks really nice in the sunlight. And then right here, you're gonna have your armrest, this long armrest right here, basically enough to fit one person's arm, obviously. Fold that up, and you've got a decent amount of space, 2 USBs, which I have things plugged in here, and you do have a smartphone image right there because this can basically stream your music to the screen. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay or anything. It basically just streams directly from your USB, and then your single cup holder here, as well as another cup holder right back here. Other than that, that's pretty much going to be it. Nice Alcantara up here, more leather here, more orange here, and it's just a beautiful cabin. And if I did not mention it already, one of my favorite parts is I can see the carbon fiber tub, or at least the structural rigidity of the car right up here, and it's just so cool, and you can see it on both ends, and I absolutely love it. But that's pretty much going to be it for the interior. Let's check out what's under the hood. Okay, so coming under the front hood of the McLaren 720S. Now you have a really good amount of cargo capacity here. I'd say you can probably fit 2 good-sized carry-ons, so if you and someone else want to go on a weekend trip, you can actually make it happen in this car, versus something like a Huracan, you can barely fit 1 carry-on in there. So this is really nice to see, and it's a lot of usable space. You do have an LED light here, 12 volts. You're gonna have a little net off to the sides if you have extra things that you need to put over here, maybe like a bottle of wine or something like that. You can stick it right there and have yourself a good time. But that's pretty much gonna be it for this area. Let's go ahead and see what powers this thing. All right, guys, so coming to the back of the McLaren 720S Spider. Now, unfortunately, you can't open to see the engine bay. That's kind of frustrating, but just know that a monster lives underneath this thing. It is a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8. It's gonna make 710 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque. But if you guys have seen any of these cars drag racing, if you've seen any dyno videos, you know that it makes more horsepower than that to the wheels in a car that weighs less than 3,000 pounds. It's absolutely absurd, and this thing literally accelerates like nothing else I have been in to this day. It's absurd. So with that being said, this is hooked up to a dual clutch transmission going to the rear wheels only. Let's go ahead and get this on the road though and see how this thing does. Now, if you guys have headphones, I highly suggest you put them on. I have these binaural headphones in my ears, so that way you guys can hear what I'm hearing. Now, this car is insane. So like I said, I've already driven this before. The only difference is this is the Spider. So we're gonna go half top up, half top down. And we're in active, track mode is on, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this rear window down, and let's go ahead and listen to how this thing sounds. What a machine. Wild. This thing is crazy sounding, guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so let's talk about the driving experience. Now, everything feels good. I'm 6 feet tall and I can actually fit in here. I could not fit in the Huracan. Well, I could, but barely. So, a lot more headroom. It does feel a little cramped this way. Width-wise, I'm fine, but like it just feels like I don't have a lot of room this direction. So that's a little odd feeling. You feel like you're really in the front of the car, like way in the front of the car. So because of that, whenever you're driving, it literally makes you feel like the road is coming like directly at your chest, and it's slightly terrifying the first time you drive it. especially when you like go fast or launch or anything. It's just a surreal feeling. Now, the paddles on here are great. So once again, we're in active. I'm in full track mode, so I'm in the most aggressive setting right now because it's just the most fun to drive. Everything is very responsive. These paddles are very tactile. Nice clicky feel to them. I mean, everything about it is super awesome. And this guy behind me wants me to like get on it, which you get a lot driving this car. So I guess I'll go ahead and give them what they want once the light turns green. Now, everything else is right at reach. The screen is right here. I don't have to reach for anything, which is great. And I love the visibility in here. It's actually very good. You don't feel claustrophobic because you have glass like all around you. It's pretty amazing. And the seats are actually very comfortable. The suspension is very comfortable. This Bowers & Wilkins sound system is incredible, but I'm jaded because there are times when I really want to listen to music, but then I really want to listen to the exhaust behind me. So it really depends on what kind of a mood you're in. But there have been times when I got tired of the loudness and I would just put it in quiet mode, cruise around, and listen to music. Oh my gosh. Man, what a machine. Oh my gosh. The acceleration is insane. Wow. I've never experienced something that accelerates like this. And I still haven't to this day. Even the Huracan, nowhere near this. You get a different hit in the Huracan. There's a more instantaneous hit. But the torque in this is what is just astounding. It feels like the car just disappears underneath you. It's wild. Okay, we're gonna go top down, and you can do it up to about 20 to 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. So I don't have to pull over anywhere. I don't have to stop. My hair is everywhere. And there we go. More noise. Oh, this thing is so awesome. And you don't lose a lot of top speed, 0 to 60. You gain about 109 pounds compared to the coupe. And you get this open top experience. You get closer to the engine sound. It's hard to deny getting a convertible supercar nowadays, especially when the benefits are almost identical to a coupe. Especially with this one, it doesn't hardly look any different from a coupe. So you're not getting this weird look. Unlike a Huracan Lamborghini, which has the cloth top and everything, you still have the hard top. It looks sleek and nice on this one. And I mean, I love it. You can really hear those turbo noises. Let me get my hair out of the way, that way you guys can actually hear. Man, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I just have to say that because seriously, the fact that I'm driving this is such a blessing. And I never take for granted that, you know, most people will never even get a chance to see one of these in their life, let alone drive one unfiltered like I get to. I mean, it's one thing taking it to a dealership and driving with a salesperson next to you, but I get to have this in my garage and drive it however I want to drive it. You don't get those opportunities in life very often, so thank you guys so much. I seriously appreciate it. And I hope this video brings you guys as close to this experience as possible, because that's my goal for you guys. Oh, what a monster. Oh my gosh. May not sound like a Lamborghini or Ferrari, but the turbo whistle and the turbo spool is just wild. Well, everyone, that's gonna wrap up my review of this 720S Spider. This thing is insane. I thoroughly enjoyed my 24 hours with it, and I think the craziest part about this compared to a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, this is definitely more focused. This definitely feels like something very unlike those cars. It accelerates as insane as it looks, and it's just one of the most unique supercars I think that you can buy today. So let me know what you guys think. Would you get a 720S, whether it's a Spider or not, over a Huracan or over something like the new F8 Tributo? Comment below, and if you guys are new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and do not forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll see you guys in the next review. Y'all take care. Bye.
Enjoy the Nest